7 years, bro. 7 years. The game we've been no-lifing every day finally thought, okay, here's the story. This is the same kid from Aviary's early days. Yes, calling him a steward wouldn't be wrong. In the tale of Two Embers, he is named as one of the Two Embers, destined to play a crucial role as the story unfolds. Alright, so today we're diving into this and breaking down the first episode of the series to really get what's going on. So yes, I'm about to explain all this with my so-called big brain. It's me, your crazy little chaotic kid. And yes, just a heads up, this video contains spoilers for episode 1 of the Two Embers, so watch at your own pace. So, as soon as the episode begins, the very first thing we see on the screen is the line, "The light has always healed us." And then blah blah continues. Now look, all of us Sky Kids already know that the kingdom of Sky is full of light creatures and sources of light. These light creatures have been a part of the Sky world since the very beginning, and they've always played a crucial role for both the world and its people. Now some people raise them with love, while others do it only for their own benefit. At the beginning of the episode, we see how the young steward holds love for the light creatures, and is willing to connect with them without expecting anything in return. These moments signify the early development of Steward's character, emphasizing his inherent innocence and potential for moral growth. Not just that, even as a child he used to help his mother with her work. And yes, it really seems like the tender toymaker is his mother, the one who makes toys that serve as their source of income. But during that time, an illness spread. It seemed to come from darkness or contact with some evil entity. Because of it, these crystal-like marks began to appear on the skin, almost like painful wounds. And when you look closely at this scene, you'll notice the steward's little toy, shaped like a butterfly made from wood. This again shows the steward's love for the light creatures. He's just a simple child who loves simplicity, who cares deeply for things, whether it's a light creature, a wooden toy his mother gave him, or even a person. You'll see all of this throughout the entire part 1 of the series. In this scene, as the young steward peacefully sleeps beside his mother, the next moment we realize it was nothing more than a dream. He's completely alone these days, and the only comfort he finds is drifting into sleep, held gently by the memories of his childhood. Right from the beginning, all of this reflects a heavy wave of sorrow. He hasn't lost all of his innocence. Now, he survives by himself, relying on his mother's memories and the toy business she once ran. He still sells the toys his mother made. Over time, he has learned how to make them himself. He goes to the market, sets up his shop, and spends his day there. Even though he no longer wishes to talk or connect with others. A child who once laughed, played, and lived happily has now fallen silent from the world, only caring about the bare minimum for his work. What was once his laughter has become sorrow, his liveliness has turned into guilt, and his life is now weighed down by grief. The next scene shows that these people are living during a terrible disease outbreak in a city near Eden Mountain. They call it the Last City, which is actually the Golden Wasteland. This makes it very clear that it feels like no other cities or realms are left, as if the darkness has taken over and corrupted all of them. Yes, the Isle of Dawn, Daylight Prairie, Hidden Forest, all gone. Darkness has taken over those realms completely. In the next scene, an entrance gate appears, which seems like it could be part of a broken temple. A long line of people is waiting in front of it. They are all suffering from the disease brought by darkness. Then we see the Elder of the Sixth Realm. Yes, the Elder of the Vault of Knowledge, carefully observing each person one by one. Among the remaining elders, she was still active, seeking a path to save people from the spreading darkness. As the events unfold, you'll begin to understand the true scope of her powers and what she is capable of. But despite all this, she cannot save the world alone. That's why she is still searching for someone who can help these few elders and their people recover from this suffering and protect them from the darkness-related disease. And you already know who that person is. Now look, the steward is neither a mighty figure nor someone endowed from birth with extraordinary powers or arcane knowledge. He is an ordinary child, carrying the weight of guilt and sorrow since his mother's passing. To this day, he manages his family's traditional toy shop to sustain himself. By the way, did you notice something? When the steward was setting up his little shop, a lady looked at him but seemed to completely ignore him. As a young, broken soul, you probably can't even imagine how much pain he's in. He has no mother to morally support him, and it seems like the world offers him no help either. Even in the face of all this, he keeps striving to rise above his situation, leaning on the toys his mother left him. He hasn't given up. Yet, there are children in that world who are naturally attracted to his toys. They retain their innocence, unlike the parents who, believing themselves mature and wise, keep their kids away from him and his creations. And if you've been watching this video so far, it means you're one of those children who still have a spark of innocence. You appreciate the effort behind it, and I'm grateful to you for that. And now comes the terrifying part, the darkness. The next scene shows these giant towers, the very ones that bathe the city in light, letting its people live in ease. But when the true source of that light is uncovered in the episodes ahead, it will literally blow your mind. The light from these towers is now fading, and darkness is spreading across the city. The light creatures trapped in the bonds are trying to break free, as if they are the first ones to become the prey. Amidst all this chaos, the steward also faces the frantic rush of the light creatures. In this frantic scene with the manatees, you'll notice that their herder also stays with them, keeping them tied together so they don't scatter away. And if you watch closely, you'll notice that this sickness isn't just infecting the people there. It's affecting the light creatures as well. Amid all the chaos, the steward loses something very precious to him, his mother's wooden butterfly toy. He had made this butterfly toy in his early days when he was learning to make toys from his mother. Now, as he looks around, he notices that one of the small manatees from the herd is picking up his toy and carrying it away. Even though the steward was deeply attached to the toy, as it held memories of his childhood and his mother, he chased after it, following the herd of manatees. He somehow makes it to the herd and, with great effort, snatches his toy back from the small manatee. But the moment his eyes fall on the creature's infected hands, he freezes in shock and quietly walks over to sit down, overwhelmed by what he just saw. Now, right from the beginning, it's shown that the steward has always had love and compassion for these light creatures, even since his childhood. And when he feels the little manatee's wound, memories of his mother and his own childhood come rushing back because she had suffered similar pain. This detail isn't shown in the animation, but it's something you can sense. He carries the quiet grief of losing his mother, a pain mirrored here. Overwhelmed by the situation, the steward takes the opportunity to sneak past the shepherd and take the baby manatee away from the area. But escaping with the manatee wasn't so easy, and just then the shepherd spotted them running away. Seeing this, the steward started running away since his little theft had been caught, and meanwhile, we are shown another elderly figure who somewhat reminds us of the Isle of Dawn Elder. Now, whether this is truly the Isle of Dawn Elder or not, only time will tell. By the way, its seasonal spirit name is the Resourceful Recluse. Who knows, as we watch and try to understand this series, they might actually be different from what they seem. Perhaps we're seeing elders from different realms who have either lost their powers or haven't received them yet. Anyway, returning to the episode, when this elderly figure sees the steward running off with the baby manatee, the next scene shows the steward trapped in a situation with no way to escape. There's no path left to run. And in the meantime, the shepherd was also searching for them, getting closer to the two. Meanwhile, the elder appears again, wanting to help them, and shows the pair an underground tunnel as a way out. Now, whether this is truly the Isle's elder or not, their compassion is clearly visible. This is one of those individuals who steps forward to help the steward, unlike most people in everyday life who would simply ignore a broken, lonely child like him. After that, the steward quickly enters the tunnel shown by the old man, but in the meantime, the shepherd also arrives there. When asked, the old man says he hasn't seen any child running away with a manatee like that. The shepherd's gaze briefly falls toward the tunnel, but he doesn't search it. The situation shows that people like the steward, innocent and kind, exist not only as children but also as elders who know how to guide and support others in such moments. Some might say that stealing someone's belongings is wrong, that trespassing on someone's property is bad, and all that, but you can't fully grasp what danger they tried to prevent. Anyway, we'll discuss this properly later. Now, the steward manages to escape into the tunnel, but just a little further ahead, we see how small and large pipes run inside it. And when they reach a big broken pipe, that's when the little manatee reacts differently. And when the steward lets the manatee peek inside the broken pipe, we see tiny light particles continuously flowing through the pipes. Now I have already explained all this in one of my trailer breakdown videos, how these pipes are connected to the Mountain of Eden, which constantly consumes light. Now back to the scene. Next, we see a broken pipe where the steward enters, which leading him to another place that looks peaceful and lush. To be honest, I'm not sure what place this is, since it comes from underground. There may have been a place like this beneath the Golden Wasteland in the past. Although it doesn't appear on the normal Wasteland map, this place has been explored in the Sky, Two Embers season map. By the way, I had already predicted most of this story portion as a theory earlier, and now the story is unfolding in a way that seems to connect with that theory. So looking at this place, it seems like it could be an Easter egg. Maybe these stones were placed in memory of a light creature or perhaps of someone important. Maybe it was someone from Resh's time, and this was built somewhere underground in their memory. After that, the steward places the small manatee there and keeps his toy with him, but meanwhile we realize that the baby manatee has also fallen victim to the same infection. After searching around, the steward finds a candle. He somehow reaches the candle and takes it with him and moves towards the light particles flowing inside the pipe. At the same time, we see an Easter egg showing how, even in ancient times, people used these light particles to light candles. You're probably wondering what use these candles could possibly have. Well, being a Sky Kid, let me tell you how candles and their light protect us from the infection of darkness. In the next scene, we see the steward lighting his candle from the sparks flowing through the broken pipe and placing it near the baby manatee. All these scenes reflect the steward's deep empathy for the light creatures in his heart. This entire episode highlights the steward and his humility. He carries sadness and guilt from losing his loved ones and is often ignored by the people of the world. Yet he still holds deep compassion for the light creatures in his heart. After all this, we see tiny particles of light starting to fall in the area, and that's when we realize that with the help of this light, the infection can be cured, just like we witnessed the baby manatee being healed. But hang on, the ending scene is actually way more exciting. So in the final scene of the episode, we get a closer look at Mount Eden, where a large diamond sits, emitting light as it itself consumes light through pipes. And here we see the person entering who is in a way responsible for all this, and is trying to stop it in his own way. Now, this is who everyone knows. This is the elder who never got to meet any Sky Kids. Now, why does this happen? Why is there no meditative shrine for him? And what it has done you will only know by seeing its character arc, which you will get to see in the Two Embers Part 2.